to the TD Podcast. We are your hosts, Tony and Dak, and in today's episode, we are doing our Waiver Wire Wednesday, which means we're diving into fantasy football, which means we're giving you some big boy ball knowledge because there's not a lot that we do wrong with fantasy football, except for drafting because I am in one league that I did drafted terribly.
Pause. While you're in your intro, we have some breaking news.
Breaking news.
The 49ers are trading for Patriots DN Keon White. The Patriots are giving up a 6th and a 7th round pick because the 49ers defense is brutally injured.
I thought you said there was
breaking news.
I thought you said it was breaking news. Dude, I bet you half the audience doesn't even know who Keon White is.
Hey. Just saying. Breaking news. I wanted to break it.
All right. Well, so getting into our 1st and 10, how did our teams do? I believe I went 1 and 4.
I had a miserable week. I went 2 and 5. Or not 2 and 5. 2 out of 5. So I went 2 and 3.
Yeah. I won our Dynasty League, lost both my work leagues, lost both my ESPN leagues. I lost my casual work league with Josh Allen and James Cook. That takes skill. So now, how did our ticks do from last week? Dak, I'll let you kick us off.
So I said JT was going to have a crazy game. JT had a crazy game. I also said something about another receiver that was going to do something, I think, last week, and he just did nothing. But it doesn't matter because JT went crazy and is our top performer of the week because he had 37.4 points, 12 carries for 153 yards, 2 catches for 21 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown. And was absolutely crazy. I have him, and I still lost in Dynasty this week. So, rip me.
Yeah. Usually our next spot is the studs and duds, but getting into my take from last week, I said Bijan Robinson was going to have a great game last week. So rather than starting with our studs, we're going to go to our duds first and talk about Bijan Robinson, about how this man dropped 5 fantasy points, 5 of them things, against Miami Dolphins.
Rushing defense in the league.
Dude,
one of the worst.
He let me down so bad, but it didn't matter because I still won my game. But, I mean, come on, Bijan. No, not Bijan. I will not blame my guy, Bijan Robinson. He very rarely lets me down. Come on, Raheem Morris and whoever plays quarterback. Wasn't it Kirk Cousins? Wasn't Kirk Cousins in?
I believe Kirko was in the game because Penix is dealing with an injury.
Why are we not handing the ball off 50 times? 30-20, Tyler Algier, and Bijan. What are we doing here? Run the ball down the throats.
More like 35-15.
I mean, yeah, because of the red zone, but I mean, how many did Bijan Robinson have last week? Not enough, I'll tell you that much.
Probably only had
9.
8.
He had 9 carries. What are we doing here?
9 carries?
9 carries. For
CMC had less.
A top
CMC
3
had
running
less.
back in the league. He had 9 carries.
CMC had less carries.
Okay, but CMC also needs to be load managed like freaking LeBron.
Brother had 8 attempts. Okay,
but
he had 8
I bet
carries.
you he also had catches. Bijan had 3. Okay, he also had 3.
Exactly.
So both of them stunk it up.
How long were the Falcons on the field though? Okay, the Niners were on the field for 18 minutes. The whole game.
Well, let's see.
It's the time of possession for the Falcons here.
I'm getting there. Give me 1 sec. I'm almost there. We got time of possession. Goodness gracious. 37 minutes for the Dolphins to 22 minutes for the Falcons.
Yeah, they still had them for four more minutes. It's about 10 more plays.
How many plays did they have? They had a lot of penalties.
CMC did not have a good week. But he's not my dud. My dud for the week.
It's because you could never do that to yourself.
No, CMC's my guy. Jordan Mason, former backup for CMC last year. Now on the Vikings, was projected 11 points and had 1.9 points. Didn't even have 10 total scrimmage yards on the day. Had 4 carries for 3 yards and 1 catch for 3 yards. Something to monitor since Aaron Jones is back. If you're an Aaron Jones fantasy owner, you kind of might like this one. But if you're a Jordan Mason owner, try to get rid of him. Get something. If you're in a dynasty, get a pick. If you're not, put him in for. If you're wanting a backup running back, go trade Jordan Mason for Kareem Hunt, because Kareem Hunt's at least getting red zone touches, because Andy Reid has shown that Kareem Hunt will get the end zone and the red zone touches.
So looking at the Falcons and Dolphins snap counts, which I finally found, 50 to 69. Nice. So, yeah, that's based on offensive linemen. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get back to the episode. So yeah,
most surprising studs.
Yeah, stud. Well, not. Listen, we put most surprising, but I had to give my guy James Cook a shout out. I'm not a Bills fan, but let me tell you, I'm a James Cook and a Josh Allen fan, because they are just fun to watch. James Cook had 2 touchdowns and 200 plus yards. I mentioned it in the other episode we have. If you haven't already, go watch it. The big boy episode, the long one. I was watching that game. Relax. I was watching that game, and every time I watched, so I was also playing Battlefield, but every time I looked down at my screen, James Cook had the ball and was running for a lot of yards, obviously. So, fun to watch. Glad I have him on my fantasy football team. Believe it or not, I think I actually got him in round 5. So, in a 10-person league.
Pretty nifty. Nifty.
Pretty dang.
My most surprising stud this week is Troy Franklin, wide receiver for the Broncos. Was projected 10.9, and he got 26.9 on 6 catches on 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Took all of the receiving away from Marvin Mims, but I'm not complaining about that, but I kind of am. But yeah, again, guy outperforming by 19 is pretty well. And the Broncos, I believe, destroyed the Cowboys this weekend.
Yep, they sure did. Now, let's get to the namesake of our episode, our waiver wire pickups for the week. Dak, you want to kick us off?
2 Giants players.
Yeah,
2
Giants players are your waiver wire pickups. So we expect the Giants to have a good week. And if they don't,
not necessarily don't know if a good week, but might be just good guys to have on your team, because they're probably going to get a little bit more production here. Yours is definitely one to look at. Mine, Tyrone Tracy. He may or may not be on the waiver wire for a majority of leagues. He's owned in about 45% of leagues right now. I want to remind everyone that he was RB1 on the Giants before Cam Scatterbo was even running or even taking over the snap count. He was RB1 coming into the season.
Yeah, before he got hurt.
He was RB1 last year as he took over for Devin Singletary. So the guy is very comfortable in the system. Scatterbo took over once Tyrone Tracy got hurt. It wasn't as if Tyrone lost the job. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury, but the two are really, really close. There's no their nickname is Salt and Pepper, so kind of funny. But yeah, he's gonna get the reps again. And for all the haters out there saying that they're gonna have Evan Neal as RB1, let me remind you, put some respect on Tyrone Tracy's name. Tyrone had 1,000 scrimmage yards last year and had over Giants Twitter.
You mean Devin Singletary?
No.
Evan Neal is the right tackle.
Is a lineman. Yeah, is he a lineman? And they're saying that he's going to have to take over because their running backs are so bad, and that we need someone that can run through somebody's face, because that's what Cam Scatterbo was doing.
Hold on. Giants Twitter is saying Evan Neal needs to play running back?
That's what they're saying. There's the fans and what people are saying that Evan Neal will be the running back, and I just can't stand it. I know they're making fun of him. They're making fun of the Giants essentially, but again, Tyrone Tracy was RB26 last year, and was splitting reps for a majority of the year. Had over 1,000 scrimmage yards and had let me remind you, over 260 receiving yards last year. And if you're in a PPR, like we continuously say, PPR is where you
Better.
should be at. That's a lot of points in the reception game. Um, he's a good receiving back, and he's going to be a good guy to go pick up if he's available in your leagues, or try to trade for him. Um, See if you can get him from a guy that doesn't really know what's going on or doesn't know the situation, or um, just go and get him if you can. I believe he's going to be a good flex option, if not an RB2 option in fantasy football to the end of the year. Because, again, Cam Scatterwood's out for the rest of the year. Tyrone Tracy, who played receiver in college, is a good receiving back. And if you're in PPR, he's going to help you guys out a lot when it comes to points.
I couldn't find anything, but I believe it. My pickup for the week is Theo Johnson, the tight end for the Giants. Theo Johnson has 37 targets and 23 receptions. On those 23 receptions, he has 212 yards and 4 touchdowns. In the last couple weeks, he has averaged about, so from week, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4? From week 4 to now, so since Malik Neighbors got hurt, basically, he's averaged about 5 targets a game, which is pretty darn good for a tight end. That's not like one of your top 5 guys, especially for a guy that's on the waiver wire in majority of leagues. And he's also
More
come
than
through,
majority of leagues.
Yeah, I think it's like sleeper
20%.
said it's 20%. He's in 20%.
Around, give or take.
And then let me give a little deeper dive for you guys. So Theo Johnson, while he is claimed in our dynasty league, because it's a dynasty league,
and there's 14 people in the league.
There's 14 people in the league. And since week 4, he has 10, 21, 4, 15, and 5. So he's picking it up, and going against the 49ers without Fred Warner, I definitely like that bet. So.
Fortunately.
Yeah. Now, into our next spot. We have our matchups we like and matchups we do not like. Dak has a lot more notes than I do, so I'll let you get to it.
Yeah, so if you're coming from the recap and preview episode, I mentioned on Tuesday that I had something about Tyler Warren, and I really liked his matchup this week. Tyler Warren is going against the Steelers, and the Steelers have struggled against teams that like to use their tight ends and teams that have decent tight ends. If you look at last week, Tucker Kraft, really good game, and the Packers had 9 catches for 152 yards with their tight ends. You look at the Browns, when the Steelers played the Browns had 11 catches for 109 yards with their tight ends. The Patriots had 10 catches for 118 yards with their tight ends. They're also putting the ball in the end zone with their tight ends. After Tyler Warren had some considered an average week last week on tight ends day, the Colts love to use their tight ends. The Steelers struggle in short yardage situations with their receivers. You know who's a short yardage guy that the Colts love to go to? Tyler Warren. And you know who's struggling right now? The Steelers defense. What way to throw a Sasquatch at you and say, here, tackle me, than Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's having a good game this week.
So Dak had a lot more in-depth take than I did. I just simply put whoever runs across the middle for the Jags. The Raiders linebackers aren't very good in coverage. All 3 of their receiving threats, Parker Washington, Travis Hunter, and Brian Thomas Jr. all run across the middle. Brian Thomas Jr. probably not as much more recently, but they all have catch, run speed. What is that? What English was that? Wow.
Yards after catch.
Yeah, yak ability. But so yeah, basically if you have a Jags receiver, I would be pretty confident that they're gonna have a decent game, especially with the lack of depth, unless the Raiders come out and actually with reasonable personnel. Like if Darian Porter comes out starting, that might change my mind a little bit. Darian Porter's got some growth to do, but he's a lot more equipped, in my opinion, than Caillou Blue Kelly, especially with his height, weight, and speed. and against this receiving core as well. The matchups that I don't like is Geno Smith against the Jags.
He's pretty much saying the Raiders suck, guys.
That's not what I'm saying, but it's what I'm getting at.
He's implying.
I'm implying.
He's implying. Implying, you might as well be saying.
But in all fairness, this does make sense because Devin Lloyd is on the other team, and Devin Lloyd leads the league in interceptions. At least he did.
Geno's throwing one.
And Geno likes to throw interceptions. So I just wouldn't be surprised if Geno Smith gives him another ball. And with the Jags pass rush, they're also pretty darn quick off the line, and the Raiders' offensive line just isn't equipped to deal with quickness, especially without Colton Miller and with a very inconsistent offensive line, to say the least.
The matchup I don't like this week is Bo Nix against the Houston Texans. What the Texans defense last week did to the San Francisco 49ers was just unbelievable. The Niners struggled all day, shut CMC down, and they're able to shut down the rushing game. Can the Broncos get the rushing game going and relieve pressure off of Bo Nix? Who knows? But Bo Nix is reminding me a lot of who C.J. Stroud was last year in year 2, and that's the sophomore slump.
Yeah. You're going to have to excuse me in my little chuckle. My wife just brought me my coffee for the day. Yes, it is 7 o'clock, but it is my go-to college order, a hot blonde vanilla latte. And while I was a single lad in college, I always joked about needing a hot blonde, and it could have gone either way. But now, yeah, ignore that joke. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did,
brother, he may not be recording the episode next week. He might be in trouble by his wife.
No, Maddie's laughing. It's fine. She knows the joke. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and and share the video. Especially if you want. No, actually, that wouldn't make sense.
If you want to see Ant surviving next week, come back to see if he survived.
Yeah.
Because he might be dead.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I could have made another joke, but I won't. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope we win you guys some fantasy football matchups. And
money from the Bets
episode. If you haven't watched,
tomorrow.
Well, I guess stay tuned. Watch that tomorrow. So pause, watch the video from tomorrow or yesterday. Finish this episode. Well, I guess you've already finished it, and then go to tomorrow's episode and watch that one. Win yourself some money if you're 21 or older, and in a state that's legal. And so
don't go to any poker games.
Yeah.
All right. Do not go to any staged poker games. All right. We're illegally doing stuff now.
Especially
be prepared.
If you're in the mafia.
Don't bet on the NBA.
So here's what we're gonna do for you. We're gonna win you some money. We're gonna win you some pick'ems, and then we're gonna win you some fantasy football games. Win.
Correct.
Only here on the TD Podcast. We're your hosts,